it? See, last week when you had you needed a score basically to put the game away, and got it.
Well, it was obviously very rewarding. I think the line in the backs, kind of took over the game. It really was good to see them push the pile, so to speak, and kind of set a aggressive mindset for the unit and for the team. I think the defense enjoyed it. It's kind of one of those deals. It's certain things in a game that unify a team, and it was fun to see that. And obviously, it is a great way to end it. To get that last touchdown and turn around and hand the ball off, 5-6 times in a row or something like that. So it was good.
Was there just kind of a sense of okay, losing streak's over, now we can go on? And,
every week we talk. There's a lot of positive things. Speaking on our side of the ball, and there's some negative things. And it was good to see. We still made some mistakes,
right,
but the players overcome some of the mistakes. And come out with a win, because at the end of the day, that's obviously what it's all about. But there was a sense of relief, and it's been a long time with our schedule. It's not only that you lost some games, but the time elapsed. With the off weeks, it felt like a season almost, and that was probably the hardest part of it, to be honest with you.
Moving ahead to this week, just talk about what you see out of the Miami defense and the difficulties you might have against the.
We played them last year, so there's some familiarity with the personnel. But they lost some of their front players in the back end. They lost a couple of corners. I'm really impressed with their linebackers. They run really well. They're very physical. Probably the thing that you watch is last week's game against Florida State, which is a big game for them, obviously, and they dominated the game. They dominated Florida State's offense, dominated the front. I don't know, Florida State, around 300 yards offense, I believe, and I think scored 7 or 10 points on offense. They scored on special teams, so they came to play and they dominated a good Florida State team, offensively. So it's going to be a tough challenge for us. We know that, and obviously our kids will be excited about playing, but it will be some of the talent on that side will be the best we've seen since Notre Dame, especially at linebacker. Spence, I think, is a great linebacker, and he's a guy that's tough to block.
Is speed the first thing that stands out about them, being a Florida team?
Yeah, that's the speed at the linebacker level, not speed overall, because we see speed, in the back end every week, that kind of stuff. I think the speed at the linebacker level stands out to me. And the one thing I will say, they've changed their style with Coach Golden's staff a little bit. I think they're probably a little bit more from back to front to back, however you want to say it, a physical unit. Whereas they showed flashes of being physical a year ago, they're trying to be physical in every snap, and I think that's a little bit of a change for them too.
If you could just talk about BJ's performance again from this past game, and just the consistency that he's shown throughout the course of the season.
Obviously he's grown we talk about every week, but the thing I was the most impressed with is probably the best game so far, where he's had the balance, positive rushing day, positive passing day, and as an offense, that's something I believe strongly in, is you throw for 254, you rush for 230 something. If you can play a balanced attack as a quarterback like that and be that efficient and that effective, boy, it's awful hard to defend. You got to worry about the quarterback run, the things he does in the run game, and yet he can drop back and throw the ball accurately. It's really a tribute to him that he's become that consistent in both phases of the game.
Is it tough to ask him to duplicate numbers like that on a weekly basis, or is that what he's capable of doing week in and week out?
Yeah, I don't think you ever go in saying, boy, we need BJ to play consistently. We need him to protect the ball like he's doing a great job of in the passing game. And he's talented enough, as you talked about, that either the passing numbers or running numbers will come with that. But the biggest thing I think he's realized, and hopefully knock on wood he continues to do, is play within the system. Don't beat yourself first, and let your God-given abilities take over after that. And that's kind of how he's played this year, which has been a great attribute to him.
Is BJ's play part of the reason he got a little more aggressive in the play calling?
No, he's been playing pretty well. I don't know if we got any more aggressive. We just hit him. Everybody said, "Boy, you're more aggressive." No, we threw the same deep ball against the week before, and we didn't catch it. We didn't throw it well. Whatever it may be. When you hit him, you're a lot more aggressive. When you miss him, you're a lot dumber. But no, he allows us to have the confidence to go ahead and try those things, because he's playing a very good brand of football right now.
Todd, how special would it be for this program if it would able to beat Notre Dame and Miami in the same season?
Well, yeah, those are feathers in your cap, so to speak, and probably the thing that would be, if we were able to win this game Saturday, would be to beat them back-to-back, which would really kind of solidify yourself as you're trying to still knock off the Big Three mentality around the state of Florida. But, you got to look at it. This year. It's a different coaching staff at Miami. It's a different offense. It's a different defense at Miami with their structure. So, if if Randy Shannon was still the head coach, that'd probably be a lot more of the, hey, last year to this year deal. But, they're like us. They're just worried about winning the next game. And so it's more of a day-to-day basis than it is anything else.
What about the confidence the players developed from beating them last year, thinking, hey, they're up here, our place this year. We beat them down there, we can do it up here.
Yeah, our guys have been confident every game this year. They were confident walking to Notre Dame, so I don't think their confidence will be wavering. But I think they also understand that it's going to be a heck of a challenge if they have a good football team. But when you play somebody, there's familiarity with it. Like you said a year ago, maybe you're matched up against the same guy a year ago as an offensive lineman. It certainly helps you because you understand a little bit more about what you're going against.
Is it nice to go into a game like this, coming off a victory like you had against Syracuse, where it looks like the program might have turned the corner?
Well, yes, it helps to come off a win. There's no doubt about that. That's the easy answer. The one thing we've done a good job of as players and I think as coaches is you don't get too caught up in the big picture. And when you're struggling or winning, you got to, it's a coaching cliche, you worry about next week. But when you're grinding like this, you don't have time to look back or look forward. You worry about that next one. And you know what? Saturday at 7 o'clock, we'll be worried about Louisville. You know what I mean? That's just kind of how you have to live your life from August to December. And I know sometimes it's hard to believe, but that's really how you do it.
Todd, how has this offensive line managed to find success despite a lot of changes?
I think the biggest thing has been they had a great summer together. It always goes back to your summer preparation. You hear coaches say that a lot, and they had a great summer together. And there's been a great chemistry in that group because you have some veterans inside, and kind of the communication starts inside and works out with Chaz and Jeremiah. And then, the young tackles have really done a nice job of growing every week in Popek and Eatman. And the other thing is, knock on wood, we've stayed pretty healthy. So you haven't had to sub a lot of guys for a game and that kind of thing. We've had some guys jump in and out to finish a game or help finish a game. But staying healthy, I think they've had a great summer, and the chemistry in that group is really, really good.
A lot of times when you get two teams playing each other, you kind of recruit some of the same ground. You always talk about the importance of recruiting and the outcome of a game. Is there anything to that? I mean, does it help or not? Or?
I think it helps. Probably helps us more than them, just the history of the two programs and where we're coming from in a short span to where they've been. If we're able to knock them off, like we said, 2 years in a row, to go down to recruit another Elkino Watson or Kayvon Webster, guys like that have both schools really recruiting them hard, it can't hurt you, that's for sure. And so it probably is a feather in our cap, so to speak. Got it.